Sunday live. Here we go. Can't wait to talk about the Zoom we had with the members. But first and foremost, let me get you on screen and then see who's here. And you got to remind me. Yep. Every now and then, you got to remind me who's here, where you're from. Oh. And the camera, you got the camera pointing down clearly. Yes, it's angled down. You like that.
What's wrong with it?
All right. Welcome. Sunday. Hope you had time. You know what Sunday means. You had a little bit of time to spend with your family, God, country, core, era. Welcome, everybody. Some great topics today. We're going to talk about our members only live. Not only did we do a live, we did a Zoom. That was great. Had a great time with that. More to come, more to follow. And that was our pilot program, if you will. So thank you, members that joined us on that. It was a good time. I'm going to talk about truth in leadership. Truth in leadership and what that means. Sunday topic, what inspires you to inspire others? I think that falls right on line. WW, good to see you, brother. That falls in line with what we're going to talk about today. Truth in leadership. And what that means and how you use that. Truth in leadership. You'll see where I'm going with this in a minute. Ski is here. What's up, Terry? Evening, Sergeant Major. Sergeant Ski from Flint, Michigan. Thanks, Ski. Flint, Michigan. Again, I forget where everyone's from because I just got a bad memory. David Bryant's here. I'm here, and I'm from my mother. Uh-oh. She's messing with the camera. No clothing yet. WW, you see, I'm telling you, when I'm wearing it, it's en route. And I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but it's en route. We'll keep it at that. That's the professionalism in me, and it's family. So I can't throw anyone in my family under the bus. But it's en route, brother. It's en route. I can't wait. Can't wait to be bundled up. I might be sweating in it, but you'll see it. That's the total time since you sent it, 6 weeks. See, I'm dying over here. Luckily, I'm patient and I just have no other choice. All right, because here's why right here. In God we trust. All right. Topics, truth in leadership. Here's one. I'm going to give you a little cue to start putting it in the front of your mind. Truth in leadership, integrity, right? Honesty. We want our leaders to have that. As leaders, hopefully you have truth and integrity, and everything else that goes along. Accountability, right? That's been a buzzword now for a couple of years in like society. All right, nobody's being held accountable. Well, still, nobody's being held accountable. But truth in leadership, and I had a recent boss who just did not like bad news, right? And it blew my mind. Like if something's going wrong in my unit, my command, my organization, my school, if something's not going well, or many things aren't going well, I would want to know. Right? I would want to know. Bring me that bad news. Nobody likes bad news, but if you create an environment where nobody gives you that news, poor leadership. You're just gonna destroy that organization within. Right? Self-destruct. That's what this organization is doing. They're just self-destructing because of that. No one wants to bring the bad news to the boss. Somebody's got to. And I tell you, when that somebody does, that's when, instead of fixing the problem, addressing the problem, get rid of the one who notices the problem. We're going to talk about that. Dave Bryant, how do we teach bad leaders this? You know what I mean? it's so much goes into it. PD Storm, good to see you. You can accurately judge a man's character by how much truth he can handle. Awesome, PD. I like that, and that's just it. And in this organization, I would bring up the issues with coworkers, and everyone said, "Well, I don't want to tell them. I don't want to tell. No, don't bring it up. Don't bring it up. Don't bring it up." You kidding me? We're just trying to make things better. Constant improvement. We're not going to improve when you get that answer. I'm going to say it. I'll say it once, and I never say it ever again. Especially in an environment like that. That's how we always done it. Worst thing you can say. All right, Carl Green is here. What's up, Carl? Andrew Johnson. You need to know so you can fix it, right? If you don't tell him or her, if you don't tell the boss, they're going to believe that everything's going well. So tell me the bad news, right? Maybe preempt it. We'll bring me a cup of coffee and we'll sit down and we'll discuss it. But tell me, if you keep telling me everything's great, then I'm going to believe that everything's great. It's like fitness reports in the Marine Corps. Don't wait till commanders. Don't wait till or you're doing a fitness report review with me to tell me I'm all screwed up. You've had all year. All right, well, here's your annual fitness report is due. You lack here, you're lacking here, and you're lacking there. Really? Because you had 11 months and 29 days to tell me. You're telling me now when I have to sign this report? Tell me. As soon as you know, tell me. Carrie Emery Potts is here. Hi, Carrie. Good to see y'all. Good to see y'all. That's one of the topics. That's one. Look at already. I can't wait. I can't wait. Truth in leadership. I wrote truth to leadership, but it's going to be truth in leadership because it's important. Enlisted to officer, right? How do we're talking about officers, commissioned officers. You saw my short. What do officers expect of enlisted? Enlisted expect of officers. We'll get into that a little bit, but the many ways and what's the benefits, pros and cons of going either enlisting or commissioning or going ECP, enlisted commissioning program. There are many ways to go from enlisted to officer. We'll kind of crack that open a little bit. Oh, and another one is retirement, promotions, and reenlistments. Retirement, promotions, and reenlistments. Bring that up because I'm getting ready to go to a retirement. A dual retirement coming up. I'm pretty excited about that. It's on the 6th, by the way, right? 5th of August. But what made me think of it is, man, a storied career, right? And you should celebrate that. You should celebrate that. How about promotions and reenlistments? Do you invite your family if you're married? If you have family, if your parents are in town, do you invite family members to your promotions, enlistments, reenlistments, retirements, if you stay in long enough to retire, and awards? What's the protocol and what's the benefit? What's the pro and cons? Right? Really, do you want to bring your wife and kids out, drag the baby in the stroller to get pinned on a good conduct medal? Well, why not? That's a significant time in your career. We'll talk about that. And then the foundation, and I was at church. I'm gonna hit that up as soon as we welcome everybody. We'll talk about our church is done with their series. They did a 4-week series on foundation. How to build a house. You can't build a house without a foundation. All right, roll call. What's everyone's drink of choice? Carl Green. If I didn't say that, appreciate you. David Frank, America. Greetings from USA or USA 357. Greetings. Yep, that's how you lost a few jobs. Crackle bun. Is that right? Because you told the boss the truth. Sounds familiar. You were honest, open, you had integrity, right? Even tact doesn't work on these leaders that are just that narcissistic. that they don't know that the best thing to do. Here's how they fix a problem: get rid of the person acknowledging the problem. Right? I'm a mechanic for my truck. When I hear a noise, I turn the radio up. Noise is gone. That's how some people lead. RoboCop. A guy went to the priest and said, "Father, I constantly hear a voice telling me what to do. Am I possessed?" Oh, she already read it. She's not laughing. No, son, you're married. I have an app in my car. It just constantly helps me drive. It's just constant. I can't turn it off. Terry, ski. Nephew getting med discharge, compound fracture, thigh, was in MARSOC. No. Wow. Sorry to hear that. Medical discharge, compound fracture. Medical discharge out of the Marine Corps or just out of MARSOC? Wow. Sorry to hear that. The Wait Experience. Good afternoon, brother. USMC no direct commissioning program. We're going to talk about that. The many ways people do go from enlisted to officer. No direct commissioning. JTB is here. What's up? Good conduct. What's that, David Bryant? You didn't get a good conduct medal? You got caught. Good conduct medal means you didn't get caught. Jared, what's up, Jared? Drink some coffee. JTB, you're going to be on Oahu June 25th. I don't know where I'll be at that time. I'll let you know. Randy Knapp is here. What's up, Randy? And Ellie. Carrie Ann Marie Potts, how'd your Zoom go? That's what the first thing we're going to talk about. Oh, you didn't start the clock over there? It went well. Then we got booted. Yes. Yes, everyone did get booted. I got tired of listening to them, so I just shut it off. We got booted because those of you that know Zoom probably better than I do is if you don't have like the business or the school model, something that you pay for, you get, it said 35, it said 40 minutes. But I think it kicked us out at like 35. And there was no warning. I kept telling everybody, looks, oh, you saw the warning. Yeah, it did. It ended very abruptly. So sorry, those of you that were on it. Well, but it went well. And I'll talk about that here very shortly. I'm going to wait 2 more minutes. It won't let me join in. Carrie Ann Marie Potts. Are you telling the truth? David Bryant, yeah, I'm with you. With Ski's kid, making him 0-1. Don't kick him out. Miss Cece can end it. NJP for that comment. Bruh, it's beyond. I'm talking court martial. It won't let me join. Ireland is here. Rob Prince. Good day, mate. Just kidding. Just kidding. I know that's not. My Island. What movie? What movie? I have no idea how to troubleshoot Zoom, so I can't help you. There's another one. I think that's a China play. 3 Days of Darkness. That is not Chinese. And I haven't been to China. I've been to Singapore. Not China, but that's Japanese. Those are Japanese characters. PD missed the Zoom. It was very cool. Trust me, we're gonna do it again. Working out the kinks. I used those that were there as guinea pigs, but it was great. It was really fun. It was nice to see everybody. Right? I just see your icon, but it was really cool. Braveheart, Jarrett, on it. And funny, we just watched it the other day. I've probably seen it. How many times do you think I've seen it? 500, 600. 100 million. 100 million. At least, I'm guessing 600 times. I could recite the entire movie, everybody's part, at the same time. Braveheart. Cinematic genius. Best movie ever. Academy, Braveheart, the Scottish. I got that history from my Scottish history from Braveheart, and I know don't get started. I know it's not accurate, not 100% accurate. 2323 angel number. That's close. I don't know what an angel number is. Actually, Belfast in the north. Very cool. Carrie Marie Potts sent a voice note. Though now you know my dodgy accent. Did you hear it? Did you hear Carrie Emery's voice message? That's right. Our next Zoom, Carrie Emery Potts, you're on it. In fact, you're going to host it. Fit over 50 fitness. Light. And I like that. I like that. Semper Fi, thank you for your service. Thank you. Fit over 50 fitness. Barely in that category, in the over 50. You know Jared is. Stationed in Japan, Okinawa, Japan, fit over 50 fitness. We did a few years. I got about 6 years, 6+ years, 7+ years in Okinawa. Love it. Love everything about it. People, America could take some lessons on hospitality from the Japanese. Most foreign countries, Americans could learn some hospitality, but especially Japan. Amazing people, amazing food, customs, courtesies, history, and traditions. All right. Welcome, everybody. Let's get busy. I'm all caught up here. We are, I don't want to bounce all over, but I kept adding stuff. First, let me talk about church was, once again, another amazing series, Foundation. And it's from planting, right? He talked about it like in reference to a house. That's an easy one. Can't build a house without a foundation. But your relationship with God. There's a lot of us that are called rowers. Sit in a pew, you row. You go to church every Sunday. You sit in a pew and row. You're in a row. That's where that term comes from. You're just a rower. Nothing wrong with being just a rower, but God wants more from you. So you're building that foundation while you're a rower, and then it just grows. And then you plant. We even shift over. You're planting a tree, right? You know the verses on the tree, and He is the vine, and I mean, it just everything is based on the foundation. Same with the house, right? Same with the garden. You can't do anything. You can't just you can't actually. You can throw seed somewhere, hope it grows, but you do have to tend to it. You have to mend it along the way, treat it, and do all the things to make it survive. Same with your relationship. So the way he put it today, a couple things that put my mind at it. God knew you before you were in the womb, right? The verses that solidify that. So never early, never late. God is always on time. So in your foundation, when it does get some earthquakes, some typhoons, whatever part of the country that you live in, the hurricanes, those things do happen, 100%. And that's God testing your foundation. How strong is your foundation? You get knocked down 7, you get up 8. All those cliches are nothing more than that's how God's working with you. The footprints in the sand, right? All of a sudden, there's only one footprint. You think God left you. Nope. Now He's carrying you. Those are the messages that you have to continue to push forward and go right back down to the foundation. I like the football analogy. Blocking for an offensive lineman hasn't changed since football came out. American football. Some of you from the UK, I'm talking American football. The keep your hips low, elbows in, hands up. That will never change. I don't even know what Super Bowl we're on, but it's been around American football has been around since the 60s. And that part doesn't change. Same with your relationship with God. Same with building a house, building a foundation. So every now and then you got to go back to the basics, is what I got from the message. So it's really helpful to see once you start swaying from where God is leading you, and that's all you, and the devil pointing you in the wrong direction, you have to go back to your foundation. What got you started in your relationship with God? Not a Bible thumper. You're not religious, right? You have a relationship with God. Back to the foundation. All right. I see some smoke here. Members, Mandy Lance. What's up? Mandy Lance is here. 8-month membership. Carrie Emery Potts, 46. Not my 50s. 46 is young. Yes, it is young, Jared. Fabio Man is here. Gift memberships. WW. Appreciate you. Look at all them gift memberships. See if we recognize anyone. A1C. We got an airman in here. Bounty Hunter. Ghostman. All right. Trollbox Media. Better be good if he really is. All right. Olivier is here. Thank you, WW. All right. What? Starisky Watt. How's it going? My friend, love to catch these lives. Well, thanks. Thanks for hanging out. First topic, what we're going to talk about. Still waiting on a few, and if they'll catch up. John McJunkin and crew. Ray from Queens. I know he's on a different schedule than us, but welcome everybody. Mike Smith is here. Boom. 50 over 50 fitness. Yes, establishing a relationship with God is the first step. There is a fly in here. Big fat one over there. That's because they're cooking out back. I don't even tell you what they're cooking. I can't wait. Jared, first sermon I ever taught was back to the basics. Boom. Money. There's a lot of garbage theology out there, and people tend to lean into what sounds good instead of what is true. Back to basics. That's where I focus my leadership on from day one, and I use that football analogy 100% of the time. Hips down, elbows in, hands up. That's how you block a guy, right? Stay low, stay low. All those things that coach has been saying, they'll say that forever. Nothing's going to change. AI is not replacing football. It'll replace a whole lot of other stuff, but it's the basics. Leadership 101. A past place I worked for, Leadership 101 was completely dismissed. And these are senior level retired Marines with zero leadership. They forgot all about the basics. None. No leadership whatsoever. Narcissistic, selfish, right? Because they didn't go back to the basics when either OCS, in fact, he was prior enlisted, the leader of this organization. When you say leader, I do use that term lightly, the boss of that organization forgot about basics a long time ago. Prior enlisted, zero leadership. Decades later, 06 level, needs to go back to the basics. Teamwork, right? The whole one team thing. All right. But that's what we're going to talk about. WW, does a platoon sergeant inspire the platoon commander? 1,000%. That's a team. That's a work marriage, we call it. That's where we're switching at a platoon level, right? That boot lieutenant, second lieutenant, right out of college, smart individual, graduated college, got the degree. Doesn't matter what the degree's in. A platoon sergeant doesn't care what the degree is in. Overall in charge, commander, with the experience of a platoon sergeant, which is typically a staff sergeant, been at 8, 10, 12 years. So 12 years experience versus no years of experience, but college degrees and OCS, and they teach you, you're the commander, you're in charge. Marry those two together, all the way up the chain of command to the Commandant of the Marine Corps and Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps. So does the platoon sergeant inspire the commander? Yeah, both ways. They both do, just different. All right, Carl, I have auto sub, so mine renews every month automatically. Look at Jared all over it. So the first topic, here we go. Is that Ray from Queens? Information Era, Semper Fi Marine Corps. What's up, Ray? Good to see you. I was just talking about you. All good. All good. Here we go with first topic, truth in leadership. I want to say two because that's what I wrote down, but it's inner. Truth in leadership. And what comes to mind is, what came to mind, what made me think of that topic is, I've worked for two gentlemen over my lifetime, and only two. So I guess I should be thankful, knock on wood, doesn't happen again. But one is very recent, was one of those bosses that didn't want to be told the bad news. And maybe it's because of my age and experience and maturity. Not that I want to deliver bad news, but I'm done with the PFC Lance Corporal days that you just suck it up because you technically have no say-so. But you do, right? And throughout my career, I've always not reconfirmed the information from my leaders, right? As a sergeant major, I talked to the first sergeant. All right, what's going on in the battalion? Good. We need to work on this. Okay, good. Appreciate your input. And then I check with, not check, I hate to use that word because that I was double checking my first sergeants. So I want to make sure I was getting the full story, right? So who are you going to talk to? The Marines on the ground, the mortarmen in the pit, right? The riflemen crawling through the mud. They're going to tell you the truth, 100%. So you reconfirm it, good and bad news. Reconfirm it with them. The whole open door policy in those truth and leadership, they want an open door policy for good news. Come on, you can talk to me anytime. How's everything going? Good. Oh, good. That's not how you grow, by just hearing good news. Just stroking your own ego, if you will. It's not going to improve the place any. So I'm that guy. I became that guy. Hey, Cece, how's everything going? You know, sir, not so good. This bosses don't want to hear that. Okay, well, thanks. Talk to you later. No, it's not good at all. A good leader, of course, you all know I'm preaching to the choir, will say, really, are you serious? What's wrong? What's going on? Come in my office. Let's talk. Let's go for a cup of coffee, whatever it is, whatever your thing is. Can we get a cup of coffee and discuss it? Got some notes in here. I got a couple after actions. I've been kind of keeping track, waiting for this opportunity. Things are not good. Right? Would you care to listen, boss? Some will dismiss it, like right away, get defensive, like you are personally attacking them. No, it's bigger than that. It's about the organization. You know, morale's low. I don't care about morale. How about productivity? Morale is huge. It's a very big part of everything we do here, right? So can we discuss it? So it's truth in leadership, because it would be much easier for all the employees, which most of them did. Great. Everything's great. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, we call them yes men. And I don't know if we use that for females also, but yes women and yes men. It sounds funny, but a yes man. A poor leader surrounds himself or herself with yes men. Don't tell me yes. Don't keep telling me everything's going well. And then all of a sudden at the end of the year, I got 4 employees leaving. So something's not going on. Back to the fitness report section. Officers, don't wait till the annual fitness report is due to say you're not ready for promotion, right? For the younger Marines, your rec and non-rec, all the platoon sergeants, I mean, all the way up the chain of command. The battalion commander has to sign off on a recommendation, non-recommendation for promotion. So you get a battalion of 1,500 infantrymen, you got to go name by name. Recommended, not recommended. Recommended, not. Called the rec, non-rec, rec roster. Rec, non-recs. So as soon as I would get one, I look at it, hey, I see Jones is non-rec. Does he know? Oh yeah, I just told him. No. If you just told him right now, the first time, if you're telling him right now that he's not recommended for promotion, I'm promoting him. Because you didn't give him anything to work on. If you didn't, let me see your counseling sheets. You got to back everything up with paperwork. When was the first time you told him he's in jeopardy of not being recommended for Lance Corporal? Well, I just, nope. Then I'm promoting him. You failed as a leader, and you failed him. If he sucks in an area he can't pass a PFT, how long? Didn't happen overnight. He's overweight. Didn't happen in one night. So where were you in the leadership? Same all the way up the chain of command to the boss. I'm not moving you up to this higher position. I know you want it. You requested it. You put in for it. It's there's an opening, but I'm not because of this. Wow. First time I'm hearing about that. Poor leadership. That's from that narcissistic, selfish leader. So I wrote bad news and transparency. So truth in leadership. You're all leaders. Everyone here is a leader, depending on what level you're at. But you have to create that environment of, yes, you can be told bad news also. Not good. It's never fun. But you want to be able to, you want your organization to be comfortable enough with you. And it depends on what kind of protocol, how, what kind of protocol. Did I say that already? What kind of protocol you have in your organization? If it's 100% professional, then it'd have to be a message and an email through the secretary, whatever or if you can go straight to the boss. And open door policy. Here's what I've heard about open door policies. An open door policy just means that you're always in your office. That has turned into leadership by text. Don't be in your office. Again, depend on your area of work, whatever your scope of work is, because some of you have to be in an office. I get it. But as a leader and leadership, I don't know if I've even ever used that term. I have an open door policy, and I know it's kind of a metaphor too, meaning you can come to me at any time. But it just gives the sense of I'll be in my office. I got an open door policy. Come in anytime. That just tells me as one of your employees that, wow, you're always going to be in your office. I'd rather you be out on the floor, out in the warehouse, out in the field. I'd rather you be out there as a leader. I'd rather be out there where your men and women are. Right, this last boss never even went to my workspace. Didn't know anything about my workspace, but from his office, because he had an open door policy, he would make recommendations from there. If I was a welder, never came down to the welder shop, but he would make recommendations, and his cronies sitting around him. Well, I think they need to do this down there. You've never been down there. You don't know what's going on. So open door policy is good in theory, but get out so you have a walk up to me anytime. You see me in your shop. You see me in the field, right? You see me at range 400. Talk to me then. David Bryan, use the chain of command. Very well. Good point, David Bryan. And by no means am I saying go straight to the boss. Of course, use your chain of command 100% of the time, because that's the first question I would ask, right? If a Lance Corporal comes to me and say, "Oh, PT screwed up," who have you told? Who'd you tell already? Who in your chain of command? That should be the first question out of a good leader's mouth. Who have you shared this with? Because that chain of command could probably take care of it, right? And once it's all said and done, hey, sir, just want to let you know we're changing PT. Came from a couple of Lance Corporals. We're changing it. But definitely use your chain of command. Never go outside of it. I'd rather someone critique my bad leadership than let me go on like a moron doing the same dumb stuff. 100%. Right? Because again, nobody tells you anything. Everything's going great. You're sitting in your office thinking everybody loves you and everything's great, but they're talking bad about you behind your back. I wouldn't want that to happen to me. I wouldn't do it to any of my leaders. Hey, Colonel, I just want to let you know this is what the boys are saying. Oh, it's BS. They don't know what they're talking about. Well, they're all talking about it, and I kind of see it myself. So could we address it? Tact. Sometimes you got to go a little above tact. Tony, we had poor leaders in the heaviest combat in Vietnam, and they didn't make it. And that in real time, that's what happens to those poor leaders. So be wise to listen to your men, right? When they bring something like that up. And create an atmosphere that you're comfortable that they will bring something up to you. You shoot everything down, you yell. Remember we talked about how many times as a boss did you have to yell at your employees? Right back to you, right? Why are you at a point? Why is your organization at a point that you had to raise your voice more than once? I'll give one, maybe one and a half, 2 times. Yes, boot camp is different, of course. School is different. Even JRTC is for effect. But if you're a professional CEO of an organization and you find yourself yelling at your employees, you have done something wrong. No way in a professional environment should you have to raise your voice to your employees. Again, one-offs, right? Case by case. It might be a one-off here and there. But overall, in a professional setting like that, you've done something wrong to create that. Leaders matter the most when lives are on the line. Poor leaders in heaviest combat, yeah. Poor leaders create low morale. 100%. That's why you do those. Does the Marine Corps still do those anymore? Is Gunny here? I don't remember. It'll come to me in a minute, but it is. You check the morale of a random battalion. We'd get the inspection teams that come in. It's going through my mind right now, but an inspection team comes in and they do a morale assessment, if you will. And it's a form you fill out, and don't worry, you're not going to be targeted, but people are afraid of being targeted. But it's a morale assessment. Who knows what the real name, but it does. It hurts morale. Lay Cookies here. What's up, brother? Good to see you. You've been MIA. You've been UA for a little while. Lay Cookie, how's everything? Good to see you. Fit over 50. Are you agreeing with that boss? David Bryant, you can only learn so much in a book. Listen to your troops. Take the time to sit down and listen to them. 100%. I have so many books I still haven't read. I want to. I'm going to. But yes, you do need to. You got to walk the grounds, man. You got to talk to them. Nothing better than as a first sergeant. I used to do it at 5th Marines, and that San Mateo was kind of small. Parked my car. I had to drive there. It was like 50 miles away, but I parked there and I walked everywhere. Walked to the chow hall, walked to the barrier. I didn't drive anywhere on San Mateo. Again, it's small. Even Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii, small. It's a small area, and you can walk. You learn so much, not eavesdropping, but overhearing conversations by random Marines, random people. The stuff you see, what the barracks area, the housekeeping, if you will, by walking around. But yeah, continue to read books. So continue. I need to read more. June 1st, tomorrow in Marine Corps history. It's June tomorrow. Man, we're halfway through the year. 1918, during the Battle of Belleau Wood. I want to go there. U.S. Marines and armed forces launched a fierce assault against the German Spring Offensive. WW, you know what came out of that? What Marine Corps history came out of that battle for Belleau Wood? Couple significant things in our uniform today. Ray from Queens says, we had an open door policy in 3rd LSB. Lazy sons of just kidding. I like LSB. Landing support, but Linen Survey Battalion. Sorry. We had an open door. They still wear the red patches today. You can't land on a beach without LSB. Don't get me wrong. We had an open door policy in 3rd LSB with the battalion commander, but took our gripes to the platoon sergeant. It ended right there. Chain of command in action. Definition of using your chain of command right there. And a good battalion commander would know that that's how he's not hearing those gripes, moans, and complaints because his Marines, his leadership is taking care of them, right? We have that, the policy. You can speak directly to the Commandant of the Marine Corps. Request mass. Does the Commandant read it and handle that situation that you think you're getting screwed over because you have duty 2 weekends in a row? Does the Commandant of the Marine Corps need to handle that? No. There's about 10,000 Marines in the chain of command from that young PFC to handle that situation. That's the beauty of the chain of command. So you can request to speak to the Commandant. He even has a team. An 06 handles, he's the last one to say whether or not the general needs to get involved. And no, he'll handle it. And clearly there's cases that do, but I'd say 90% of the time the chain of command does handle it. That's a good chain of command. That's a good commander that puts the trust and faith and confidence in his team. That last organization I was working for could have been like that. This dude had 5, 6, 7, 8, a bunch of awesome enlisted Marines who can handle all of it. He preferred to do it himself, the old bully method, my way. Not working out well. Sand dudes, doing good. Been in training 8 hours on a new machine. Wow. One of the big boys, one of them 8 billion ton dump trucks at work, right? Good to see you back. Army changed from BDU Woodland camo to OCP camo from that battle. And the Army Army has changed camis like 32 times. Not really, but they changed a lot. Army changed from BDU. What's BDU stand for? Battle Dress Uniform Era. To OCP. What does OPC stand for? Elijah Cardillo. Is that a time you pronounce the L's? Cardillo. What up? Carrie Emery Potts, you all need to send a photo in for a calendar for next year. Was she in that conversation? Weren't we just having a discussion about a calendar? Carrie Emery Potts, will you make it? If we send our photos to you, will you make a SFMF calendar? I get June. I call June. Jared said, yeah, right, Carrie. Jared, all your clothing on, please. You have to be fully dressed. David Bryant, 1982, there were units that had red patches on their trousers, blue patches, and blue patches on their trousers. Okinawa. What does this signify? I don't know about the blue patch. I never heard of a blue patch. The red patchers were the LSB. Landing support, they had a square that everyone else called it a target, a little red square on their cover, and a little red rectangle on their trousers. And also when you're assaulting the beach, right, as soon as you get off the LCAC or Mike boat, whatever you're getting off into, the Zodiacs, boom, you hit the beach, you're looking for that red patch because he or she's going to direct you which way to go. So 100%, everyone gives LSBers, the red patches, a hard time, but crucial. And because I tell you what, the beach looks great on a map, even from a ship as you're looking at it. And yep, you're going to go right behind those bushes right there as soon as you hit the beach, right behind that big lot. It all looks great until you're assaulting that beach in the rain at midnight. And the first step was a lot deeper than you thought it was. and now you're trying to figure out where to go. So crucial for the LSBers. Wood, Carrie Ann Marie Potts calling out Jared. He's chicken. Man of SFMF for Carrie's 2027 calendar. I like it. So Dave, I think they still do wear the red patches. I do. Yeah. Again, I've been far removed. It's been a while, but I think they do still wear the red patches. Doc Holiday here. What is up, Doc? OCP's operational camouflage pattern. They authorized to wear those in the airport? WW. You guys watch my short on that? Was that a short or did we talk about it? Jared, I'm near as good looking as I was 30 years ago. Producer just showed me a video of this billionaire, and how he made and stuff was the basis of the video. But this dude was 85 years old, and he was in great shape. First of all, it kind of looked like a little guy, but he was in great shape, fit, spoke well. 85 years old. Pray to God. I barely have all my wits about me now, but when I'm 80, in my 80s, the way the guy moved, I mean, he looked like in his early 50s or late 50s. Speedo and a USMC tank top. Jared, I say we all do it. Speedo and a USMC tank top, all of us. Oh, you meant to say not nearly as good looking as 30 years ago. All right. So I mean, did you look totally buff in a Speedo? Wouldn't know. I never wore a Speedo. The producer would not allow it. So I did wear a banana hammock when a little marble bag when I did bodybuilding decades ago. How long ago was that? It's been over 20 years. I did. A little embarrassed. A little embarrassing. A little marble. I wouldn't wear it out in public. I guess that was public, but what? Yeah, I only wore it on stage in front of thousands of people with lights blaring down. I couldn't see. That's what helped. I couldn't see anything because the lights were so bright on stage. I wouldn't wear it to the beach. How about that? Or for a calendar. Doc, say hi, Uncle Jared. I do look younger than most men my age. I think so too, Jared. Playing poker with some neighbors the other night. Someone asked, "How's everybody? How's everybody?" And crazy, I was one of the older ones. I was like second oldest. I was like, wow. I thought we were all the same age. It's a frame of mind. David Bryant nailed it right there. It's a frame of mind. How you feel, right? I mean, it does, it takes me a little longer to get up and sit down, and I kind of check the chair out before I sit down. And is this going to be easy to get out of, right? If I bend down to tie my shoe, I look around to see what else I can do while I'm down here, because I don't want to come back down. So it's your body feels different, but it is a frame of mind. Y'all can wear a Santa hat for December and nothing else. Carrie Emery, you better stop. Ray, how was the Zooms? Let's talk about the Zoom real quick. Members only Zoom, first ever. Appreciate those of you that were there. We're missing a couple of people. Who else? Ruckus was there. Awesome. Air Force, prior Marine, Army, then Air Force captain. That was good. Anyone else here right now that, or not here, that was on? Randy was there. It was very cool. And again, once we nailed down the system, yeah, we still haven't we haven't figured out, because it was a shoot, move, communicate. But it was rough. It was rough. I'd be the first to tell you it was a little rough. We even had a couple of people try to join in after we started. You get put in a waiting room, and you all probably know Zoom way better than I do. So we couldn't. We got to figure that part out. If somebody doesn't join right on time when she lets everybody in, how do we go back and let them in? Again, little things like that, we'll figure it out. This was a 40-minute free. The free services for 40 minutes, and we knew that going in, but it went by fast, right? Those of you that were there, it went by so fast. And it was just a little intro. We're working on when to mute and unmute. There's a small conversation in the comments, but what I know from Zoom, I've hosted one that was a one-on-one, and my daughter set that up for me. So I'm learning as we go. Same with the producer. We're not Zoomers, but recently taking all these OSHA classes, I've become a Zoomer. So I know how to be the recipient of it. I just don't know how to host it yet comfortably. So we'll let you know. We're looking at the calendar, see what we can do another one. But it was great. Members, we just appreciate your membership. We want to try to, just continue to once a month. She just said once a month. Are you ready for that? Once a month, once a quarter. Again, we'll figure. We'll iron out the edges and let you know when the next one is. But it was a lot of fun. It really was. It was great. Randy was there. Jared. We'll get it. We'll get after it. All right. We ready for our next topic? Zoom was pretty cool, even if it was a bit wonky. Jared, right? It was wonky. We'll get it. Ray, Don Graves just turned 101. Iwo Jima vet flamethrower. Just to survive Iwo Jima as a flamethrower. Producer said there's only 2 left. 2 Iwo Jima for all. So you can look it up or fact check. Somebody fact check her. 2 Iwo Jima vets left. That's amazing. Don Graves, flamethrower. So life expectancy, a couple people is very short. Radio man, radio operator in combat, like 30 seconds, 3 minutes, whatever it is. Machine gunner, the radio guy, comm, and flamethrowers. Who would you take out first? Right? If you're the enemy and you see this guy with big tanks on his back, and they even designed the tank, they knew that. So it's 2 big tanks, like covered. You probably know more than I do, but the actual fuel, the one if it got hit by a bullet, was in the middle and it was smaller. It was kind of surrounded by those 2 tanks. So they tried their best, but you're carrying gasoline on your back. You're a target. So wow, how great is that? Don Graves. If we only get 40 minutes, we have to speak faster. Jared, yes. Again, we had fun with this. Everybody introduced themselves, a little more background and stuff. That was cool. But yes, I'll control the mute button. I'll just mute you. Jesse Lee Peterson, you guys know I watch him quite a bit. He's pretty funny. When someone's going off and carrying on about some stuff, he mutes them and he says, "Hey, you can see Jones still talking, but I muted him." and the people don't know right away. I had to mute him. It's funny. Dave Bryant, Kerry, I was the 3rd vice commander at the American Legion in Houston, Texas. I was in charge of kid programs and was Santa every year. David Bryant, that's cool. American Legion. Platoon Leader Handbook, a must. WW, you get one of our green books yet? Our green monsters? Can somebody, do I have one nearby? I'd like to. That's also on our merch store. SFMFmerch.myshopify.com. WW. I don't know if the Army has something similar. Come on, chop. Bring me one. You got to have one. You got to have this. I still have mine from Desert Storm. Oh, I'll show you that. Here's what it looks like brand new. Boom, the Green Monster. Hardcover. Money, the Green Monster. And just, I keep them. I would show you the inside, but there's some top secret stuff in there I'd have to kill you. So look at that, Corporal Cece. Boom, right at the top. Got to have it. Platoon Leader's Handbook. What I'm afraid of is that, and I think people do, And when I'm talking to someone, they bust out their phone, I give them that look like, you must be out your ever loving. Oh no, I'm taking notes. It still looks, the visual is horrible. You're talking to someone, they're on their phone taking notes in a class, right? Or in a meeting, someone, it looks like they're on the phone, and they probably are doing both, right? Playing a game, writing some notes down and sending, don't do it. Right, pen and paper. Remember this whole thing? Pen and paper. Love it. I can't stress that enough. Write it down. And if I don't write it down, I'm going to forget. I out of nowhere, I'll just stop, ask my girls at church, give me that paper, right? On the giving envelope. I've written notes on there before. I got to write, I got to get it out of my head because it's leaving my head, whether I like it or not. So platoon leader's notebook, and that's that same, talking about promotions early on. I'm non-wrecking PFC Jones to Lance Corporal. Really, why? Well, here, I'll tell you why. Dates, signature. You suck at PT. You suck at PT. Whatever it is. Look at it's from 11 months ago. It's from 10 months ago. You haven't showed whatever. Love it. Write it down. All right. Beta. Jared. You watch some JLP, Larry. All excited. Beta Mel. Love it. No, I don't. That's the part. He's just real. You talk about transparency. Jesse Lee Peterson, tell you like it is. People get mad at him, curse him out, hang up on him, leave the studio. He said, why? Why are you getting so mad at me? Because I'm telling you the truth. That's all. I'm just telling you the truth. People don't like the truth, right? The same boss I was telling you about, he didn't want to hear the truth. Sir, morale is low. From who? Everybody. It doesn't matter. I don't care about their, yeah, you got to. You need to, right? It's the yes questions, right? When the boss comes around, hey, how's everybody in this department, Cece? Oh, we're good, sir. He was asking that question only to get the good to go. He didn't want to hear anything else, right? And unfortunately for him, I was that guy. How's everything going? Not good, sir. You got a minute? Didn't want to hear it. Poor leadership. Uncle Skip, I have a Vietnam era USMC officer's sword. Anyone interested? This is not Facebook Marketplace, but really, is it? What kind of condition is it in? Vietnam era. How much did it change? How much has the officer's sword, the Mameluke sword, how much has it changed since the 60s? If anyone knows. First 100 days of platoon leadership. I think ours is similar. Handbook, lessons, best practices, your initial counseling, follow-on counseling, U.S. pubs, U.S. Army pubs. Design the guide. Marine Corps has the same. They probably all piggyback off each other. Right, going through the Air Force Academy, they had a lot of the leadership stuff was very, very similar, just different terminology. Although the military speaks their own language, each branch of service even speaks more of a different dialect than the others. But we would, through their initial command period, offering lessons and best practices. Problem with it, WW, and you know who you are out there, it's great on paper, right? Then the old adage comes in, well, our deployment rhythm, and we're constantly gone, we're in the field. I used to tell my Marines, you can counsel somebody on an MRE box, right? Write notes down, anything you got. Well, I would counsel you right now, but I don't have my book. When you stop someone, you are going to a range. And in route, you see someone's gear on. Hey, come here, Marine. Look at your stuff. This is not marked, and your water bowls are empty. That's a counseling that you need to write down in your green monster later on. Maybe not at that exact moment, but you write it down. So again, at the end of the year, when you're not promoting him, remember we went to the range 403 times, and all 3 times you didn't have any water. I told you about it every time. I counseled you on it, and your boots untied. Those things, write it down. Oh, so back to we have a system. and I'm sure the Army does too, you must counsel E3 and below every 3 months, whatever it is. Don't quote me on any of the numbers. Corporals and sergeants must be mandatory counseling every 6 months, right? Staff NCOs, it's all written in black and white. Or you can look up any USMC manual, white letter, pub, and it'll tell you exactly how often when a sergeant should be counseled by his chain of command. But does it happen? Right? When the CGI, that's what it's called, the Commanding General's Inspection, when they came around, they said, okay, let me see all your books on Corporal Jones now. Well, here it is. Oh, look, this is when he got promoted. Here's his counseling. Here's the time he got passed over or non-rect. Everything's written down. But those are usually heavy barreled a little bit. Anybody heard that term, heavy barrel? It's when you know the CGI is coming, so get all the books and start filling in those gaps. No, if you stick to MAR admins, Marine Administrative Messages, you'll know. All right, 6-month mark. Jones, you've been here 6 months. Have a seat. Here's our 6-month counseling. Here's our 12-month. Get it done. It's hard to tone our alpha down as Marines. So what would you rather do, Jared and everybody? Is it easier to push someone forward to be an alpha, or is it easier to pull back an alpha? What would you rather do? Is it easier to push someone, or is it easier to pull them back? 1 hour in. Stream is Lima Charlie. Thank you, Carl. Got it. They don't want to hear. It's a CF. CF, Charlie Foxtrot. Cluster, you know what? Flock. God bless our military. Amen. Keith's Town, 58. Amen to that. How did troops keep cool during the mission? Where did that go? The Wade experience. How did troops keep cool during the mission in the Middle East? We didn't. It was hot. It was freaking hot. Desert Storm is freaking hot. When we got there, it was triple digits every single day. And people would send us stuff. I remember we got these handkerchiefs with the little beads in there. You get it wet. It cools. They worked for about 2 or 3 minutes. Right? Then it was just wet. Now they're hot and wet. So you deal with it. That's that suck it up. Right? You hydrate. Mm-hmm. Vietnam was a totally different kind of war. I remember a young Viet Cong girl running through camp, executing 3 of us, jumped into a tunnel hole. It's impossible to come home in your right mind. No doubt, Tony, and God bless all of you. And God be with all of you. And those are lessons learned. That's throughout history, right? That's Iraq and Afghanistan started using kids because Americans have such big hearts. They always, right? You see a little girl, you want to give her some candy or toys that you're carrying around. Same one that hands you a stuffed animal back with an IED in it. So we learned a lot from Vietnam. Women, right? They start putting all the vests, the S vets on women because they know we wouldn't search the females, right? We got smart quickly, start bringing females to search the local females. Jared, you can be an alpha and not a jerk. 100% agree. Just a man. Just being a man, doing man things, right? And completely alpha. Lou Becker. Marine's going to take Carg Island. You may be right. They're ready. We know they're on ship just waiting. Give me the word. Still waiting for somebody to call me and invite me. Jared, even with my 11-year-old daughter, I push her to take charge when she needs to, but recognize when that's appropriate. Absolutely. David Bryant, good question. If you're passed over 3 times because promotions were frozen, does that count against you in the future? Yes, because promotions for staff NCOs wouldn't be frozen for 3 years. Remember, it's only once a year for staff NCOs, one time a year. and being passed is not good. You can have 2 Ps, 2 passes, and still get promoted though. But never good to be passed, to have a pass. Young Marines, doesn't affect them. They'll still get promoted when their MOS opens back up, when the cutting score does drop, right? All the way up to sergeant. You know, to get promoted to sergeant, same with captain. To get promoted to captain, you just got to stay out of trouble. Like automatic promotions, you just got to do your time. Doc Holiday, nothing wrong with adding a little creamer to your coffee. I'm in that mixed. I'm in the mix right now. Black at home, and if I'm on the road and they offer creamer, I'll get it then. But the mute is still on station. I think so too, Mel. If they're not on station, they're nearby. They're ready. Marines are ready. Excited for them. All right. Truth in leadership. Build that amongst you. If you're a leader, if you work for somebody that doesn't have that, open door. JLP does that a lot too. Right? The riots, the whatever he's talking about. Peaceful protest. If you work for somebody that doesn't have that open door policy, help him or her, right? Be transparent. Help them put trust and confidence in their organization, right? You should be leading from the front, leading by example, all those things. That also is with communication. Again, if you're a type of leader that's yelling, you've yelled at your employees more than once, something's wrong. You're doing something wrong. All right. Lance Myers here. Hello, Marine. What do you do after Master Gunnery Sergeant? You retire after Master Gunnery Sergeant. Carry Armory Potts. E9. Those are both Sergeant Major and Master Gunnery Sergeant are E9s. That's the top of the chain. You retire after that. Good question. Yeah, retire, right, Jared? Yeah, that's it. And usually takes about 20 to 22 years to pick up E9, depending on your career. It could take longer, but then you usually retire at least 2 years after you get promoted. You retire, you could be 48, still young, start a new career or something. All good. Okay. Talked about leaders. And we'll go, because of time, JLP says that a lot too, because of time, we're going to go to promotions, reenlistments, awards, and retirements. Lumping them all together for one reason: reenlistments, promotions, award ceremonies, and retirement. It's a significant time in your life, not just career. You do 4 years. You're getting promoted a couple of times, more than likely getting awarded a couple of times. That's a significant event in your life. Bring your family, invite your family. If and it's not possible a lot of times, I get it. But if you're a young Marine single, have your parents, your siblings, friends from your hometown, if it's feasible, even for an award. Seems like, really, I'm going to have my family come out for my good conduct. David Bryant. Looking back, and even as a young Marine, like, it's not that big of a deal. It's only Lance Corporal. It's only a good conduct medal. It's only a Navy Achievement Medal. You get in that mindset, it's only a promotion to Staff Sergeant. I'll wait till later. It's only a retirement ceremony after 30 years of service tons of deployments, tons of promotions. It's a big deal. Every single one of them is a big deal. Especially now, social media. Take photos. Have someone just for your social media. I mean, take many photos. Get copies, hard copies of everything, and put that in your I Love Me book. I didn't start the I Love Me book till years later, and I'm looking for certificates. And didn't I get a letter of appreciation? Man, where is that thing? Start it. Get with, if you know young Marines, you know high school is getting ready to go into the service, all branches. Significant things happen in your career. Here's what I saw of the senior Marines getting ready to get out. Gunnies. Well, I'm retiring as a gunny. I only did 22 years. I don't want to put anybody out. I don't need a retirement. I know what I did. You hear all kinds of, I don't want to call them excuses because I think they're in good faith. I'm not going to make the battalion stand out there when I retire so they can hear the battalion commander talk. I'm not going to. Selfishly, I think a lot of Marines make that choice. That ceremony is not just for you. It's for your family. That promotion is not, inviting your family is not so they can look at you. It's so they can be recognized also. That retirement, you're not the only one retiring after 20 years. Your family is. Whether it's a wife and kids, a husband and kids, or your parents, your siblings, people that affected you along the way, helped you along the way. None of us do this alone. You have an entire entourage with you somehow, some way. Someone helped you get to a promotion. Someone helped you pass that school. Someone helped you through DI duty. Somebody helped you through all those things. That ceremony is just as much for them as it is for you. I made it mandatory, not that I could, but as a sergeant major, I wouldn't give my staff NCOs the option. Hey, Guns, your retirement's coming up. What day is it? June 15th? Good to go. Let's start working on your retirement ceremony. No, it's okay, Sergeant. I don't want one. My family's busy. My wife doesn't. Nope. You earned it. You deserve it. You rate it. We're going to do it. I kind of wouldn't give them the option. And I want to say not 100 out of 100 after, thank you so much. Appreciate that. I'm glad we did it. My mom really loved it. It's not just for you. It's for everyone else around you. So in those situations, even moving on to your next career, those of you that started another career, right? You go into whatever industry you go into after your service, those times you get an award or an attaboy from a boss, or you get vacation days, you get a bonus. All those things are significant, and it's not just for you, is what I'm saying. You have to open up. Wow, man, I did just get promoted. I just got a bonus. I got a raise. It wasn't just you that earned that. Everyone else who's included in on it. So when you do finish something, you do reach a goal, you reach a milestone in your career, no matter what it is, invite people and make it a big deal. Right? It's definitely, it's worth it, and it's not just for you. All right. Lay cookie. For me to get a good conduct would have been a hell freezing over day. Facts. No, I think you may have been non-recommended for a good conduct medal. Waffle fry. Waffle fry 18. Yeah, dealing with. I'm scrolling. I'm scrolling. I'm scrolling. Waffle fry. I got you. Waffle fry. What do you think of Marines who get kicked for DUIs and drugs? Who get kicked out for DUIs and drugs? Waffle fry. Before I even read your follow-on, Marines know the rules before they go in. I'm not a zero tolerance policy guy. But look at the producers. Everyone's on the same road. Some take a wrong turn and get lost. The goal is to get you back on track and keep getting after it. You reading my mind? So first and foremost, they need to be held accountable 1,000%. You can't convince me changed my mind. You break a rule or a law in anywhere, you must be held accountable or you're going to do it again. So first and foremost. Now, I'll read your second part. Yeah, we're dealing with two of my brothers who were kicked from the Corps for being idiots. One was doing heroin in Romania and the other was doing steroids in Lejeune. Wow. I was thinking maybe they hit a THC pen or something, but heroin in Romania, I got to believe that's a no-brainer. Wow, that's big. And then steroids in Lejeune. So here's what I've seen in my time. Usually pot, depending on the level, a one-time offense, those weren't getting kicked out. And it depends on the era that you're going through in the Corps. When I first came in the 80s, yes, one and done. You pop, you're gone. You pop, you're gone. They're doing a sea bag drag to the main gate. Pop and gone. Then Desert Storm happened. We couldn't afford to kick those guys out. So they gave them a second chance. A lot of them after Desert Storm went right back to it. So a second offense, definitely gone. I couldn't recommend any other. But the one-timers that make the mistake, a reason why I stayed in and wanted to be at a level of being able to help save these Marines. For the one-offs, made a mistake. DUI. Damn. I mean, I don't say who hasn't, but most of you haven't. And you know the rules going in, there's way too many options to not. It's easy to not get it. But if you made a mistake and you got to know the Marine. That's why you can't be just a good Marine in case something like that happens. So you have to be the best of the best. So when that one-off does happen, it's clear because you look in your notebook, that is definitely a one-off because you got nothing in here but good stuff about Jones. Meritorious PFC, first class PFT. He's already green belt as a Lance Corporal. Those things will back up when you go to court martial for the one-off, the DUI, the popped on a piss test. So I do believe there is a recovery option if that Marine has set him or herself up to receive that option. So it's much bigger. In other words, I'm not dancing around it. I can't give you a black and white yes or no. What I do believe in is there should not be a zero tolerance policy. That didn't bode well for us when I first came in. Probably lost some good future master gunnery sergeants, sergeants major, or even officers at whatever. We probably lost some good Marines because of it. When the Marine Corps was going through a zero tolerance policy era. Don't believe in that at all. Told you a couple times about a kid I did vouch for, and I learned a lesson early on. Rules are rules. Period. You can't dispute that. If it says you will be discharged if you use illegal drugs, you should be discharged for using illegal drugs. It wasn't like you didn't know, right? And even you've heard the saying, ignorance of the law doesn't excuse the fact that you broke the law. So you have little skin in the game when you're going up for a court martial for heroin in Romania. What could you possibly say? You didn't give me any ammo. That's what you should tell the Marines. You got to give me as much ammunition for this firefight I'm getting ready to go into as possible. I look at your platoon commander, and his book is full of negative. Your name is attached to negative entries. That's zero firepower. How do you expect me to go in there? He's the best Marine ever. One time, no. So give your chain of command as much ammunition, good ammunition, as you possibly can. So when that one-off does happen. Waffle fry. I got on a little footlocker there, soapbox, and maybe went around in circles, but I got love for all Marines. You made it through boot camp. You made it through OCS. You're on the right path. Who had? AH. Down or up? I think yeah, they think they're still AH414. Hello, sir. I'm currently in the process of requesting IST from Navy to the Marine Corps. IST. What's IST? I know IST is initial strength test, but maybe that's not it. I have a letter of recommendation from my CO and a letter of recommendation from my Marine recruiters CO in 04. 2.5 years left on contract. Will it go through? So you're requesting inter service transfer from Navy to Marine Corps. Good on you. I have a letter of rec from my CO, your Navy CO, and a letter of rec from the Marine recruiters CO in 04. 2.5 years left on contract. Will it go through? And obviously can't answer that. I have no idea. It's going to be the needs of the Corps, just like lat moves in the Marine Corps. But you're in the right direction. Just like a lat move in the Marine Corps, your current MOS has to be willing to let you go. So right now, your current service is willing to let you go if you have a letter of recommendation. The receiving company or MOS or service has to be willing to accept you. That's what you're missing right now. You have a favorable letter, I'm guessing, from the recruiting station CO, and you have plenty of time. 2.5 years left on contract, I think, is also in your favor. And there's a waiver for everything. Good luck to you, AAH. I hope it goes through. Stay after it. Be patient, but be aggressive. Be that squeaky wheel. Don't piss anybody off, but continue. What else do I need? Right? Find out what else could help my case. Right? Get as much information as you possibly can to help better your case. But good luck. And please keep us posted. Be really interested to find out. And here's it. I hate to say it, back to it, but it's going to be the needs of the Corps. Right? Probably depends on what your MOS is. Right? If you're trying to go into a field that's overcrowded right now, that might work against you. If it's in a field that you're willing to go to in the Marine Corps, an MOS that needs people, you know what I mean? It's going to be time. There was a time in the Marine Corps we were taking people with one felony on their record, and then we go to the extreme opposite where we don't accept GEDs. Marine Corps very rarely accepts GEDs instead of high school diplomas, but we do go through periods where we do. I don't think right now recruiting is great right now. I hope that doesn't hurt your case, AAH, because recruiting is good for the Marine Corps. Everyone wants to be a Marine. Well, not everybody, but there's no recruiting problems. If we are in a recruiting low, that would probably help your case. Good luck to you, brother, and please keep us posted. I hope it goes through. Johnny Cash. Right here, AH. Stay on the channel. We're here every Sunday. Become a member. You can go Wednesdays live with us. Members only. Please keep us posted. Where's that? Somebody popped twice. I wanted to read that one. Johnny Cash. Where'd you go? Where? I don't see it anymore. I popped twice for weed in the 82nd in the mid 90s. Mid 90s was that time. Still got out with the general under honorable conditions. Good on you. I'm glad. Right, pop twice. You're fortunate to have. I think again, it goes through eras. 80s, they weren't having it. 90s, Desert Storming all that time. We stopped giving your analysis because we couldn't. We didn't want to get rid of anybody. 82nd had a lot of screw ups. Jared, the smell of gunpowder and coffee is the only drug I need. Yeah, right. You forgot hot rod fumes. So I was behind the truck going to church this morning, or was it last night? Where it looked like maybe a 1960, probably 64 Ford pickup, totally redone, but to the original paint, original wheels, original everything. And the smell of that, I rolled my windows down just to smell that hot rod fumes. It was good. Mikey Nichols, thank you, sir, for serving our country. Era. That's what we do. H, I'm telling you, we wish you the best of luck. It cost me 25 grand college fund for serving 2.5 years, 2.5 of a 3-year contract. All right. Jay Dilly. I didn't see Jay Dilly popping here. Thank you, Jay Dilly and Doc. Sharing those amazing. Did I miss? Oh, and I see Randy back at it, popping smoke. 10 gift membership. Thank you, Randy. Boom. I used to read all the names, but I butcher them, so I'm just looking for ones I recognize. Jarhead, 1775. Lit it up. Boom. Oh, I see the emojis now. All right. Carl Green, time hack. Is there more? Carl Green did some too. Boom. 50. Carl, you beast. Dang. Thank you guys. Thank you, gentlemen. Iceman. I can't even keep. I see nothing but gift memberships. Appreciate you guys. Amazing. Pop Green Smoke. I can't. You got to give me. I got to catch up. You guys are amazing. All right. Tony Soprano's here. Carl, lit the place on fire. All right. Here we go. Yeah, keep me on track. Enlisted to officer. Enlisted to officer. That transition. If you decide to take up that challenge. Plenty of ways to do it. I'm not the duty expert. I didn't do it. I had people tell me throughout my career, you ought to become a warrant officer. You ought to commission, enlisted to commissioning program, ECP. I don't know all the ways. It seems like there's a lot. Army has a tons of ways to commission. And that's great. I love all the programs the Army offers. As a junior in high school, you can go to boot camp. You can enlist, go to boot camp. As a junior in high school, your summer year between your junior and senior year, graduate boot camp or basic training and go back and finish your senior year. Obviously, you got to graduate high school, but you're in active duty. Maybe it's just reserve. I don't know the details. But I had a kid in my JRTC program, went to Army basic training between his junior and senior year, came back getting paid by the Army to finish high school. Right on uniform day, he used to always ask me, Sergeant Major, can I wear my Army uniform for our uniform inspection day? What do you think my answer was? Okay, you must be out your ever-loving no. But good on him for taking advantage of what a great program. He was getting paid. Man. USMC 5812 question, Sergeant Major. Why do you think Marines drink so much compared to all other branches? The Marine Corps was born in a bar. Ton Tavern. That's how we were formed, in a bar. So we carry on the tradition. Customs, courtesies, history, and tradition. And Marines are fanatical. About what, you ask? About being Marines. I don't know, Brother USMC. I think it's we work hard, we play hard. And it's customs, courtesies, history, and tradition. Carl, 30 minutes LZ. Thank you, brother. Great question, USMC. Pop and smoke, WW. Bam. Who inspires you to give you the motivation to inspire others? The producer, of course. God. Amen. Great question, WW. And I appreciate that. And that's something I don't think enough people think about. Along my career, along my life, people ask me, who do you look up to? Who is your mentor? I think the Marine Corps in general. I remember my recruiter to this day. I can picture his face. I tried to look him up years ago, never found him. I even had somebody else look for him. But to this day, and that was a long time ago, I can picture his face in his dress blues at my graduation, the times I went to his office, coming to my house, right? My parents, those of you that know the story, my parents didn't sign for months. They did not want me to join the Marine Corps. Not just the Marine Corps. They didn't want me to go into the military. So it had nothing against Marines, but especially not the Marines, is exactly what my dad said. Quote, "You're not going into the Marine Corps because it's too dangerous." Definitely a mentor of mine. 0311, sergeant. He was a bad mother, you know what. So definitely motivated me to get to where I am today. But along the way, I didn't know God till recently. So I give it all to God because I know that He knew my path before I did. Right. So give it up to God motivates me. My family, producer, 100%. Family, 100%. I want to, and that's what he talked about in church today. Man, Father's Day's coming up. Man, be that guiding light for your kids. He's like put a lot of pressure on us actually in church today. He's like, Dad, be that have your kids should have a image of you sitting at the table, reading the Bible, praying for you. See, he told a story. My pastor told a story about he used to stay at his grandmother's in the summer, and he said one morning he or early in the morning, like 3-4 in the morning, he heard his grandmother. He said, "Man, something's wrong with her." He was hearing her voice. What's going on at 3 in the morning that my grandmother's doing? So he just peeked around the corner, was listening. It was his grandmother praying for him. He was one of those kids that needed prayer. It's our pastor. He said, but that's the image she's passed since, but that's the image he keeps in his mind. Your kid should have that image of you leading the way, you going to church. And I tell you, I'm comfortable right now. If I can't make it to church for whatever reason, my kids still go. It's not a burden for that. I don't have to wake them up in the morning. Let's go. Let's go. What? Dad, what? Church? Oh, do we have to go? Never once have they said that. So it's there's people along the way, WW. All of you motivate me to want to come back. When it's not Sunday or Wednesday or I'm not doing a short, you're in my mind. That this community is like, man, because do I have bad days? Ooh, all the time. I used to ask my Marines. I used to ask the cadets when they're having a bad day, and I dog them for it. I asked them, "Do you think I ever have a bad day?" They're like, "No." They're mad at me for not having a bad day. I'm like, no. I have plenty bad days. I'm just not going to let you see it. I'm not going to let you see me. That's not going to be your image of me. I remember some majors always in a bad mood. Every time you had a bad news and you're freaking out, nope, not going to happen. So the fact that I don't want to be known as that is part of my motivation as well. WW, appreciate that question. That was great. I see some more smoke. Doc Holliday, popping smoke to all branches. Thanks for keeping freedom running. Army has the numbers, Navy has the ships, Air Force has the planes. But when things get ugly, everyone calls on the Marines. Semper Fi, Doc. You are the number one patriot of Marines. And Doc has Marines in his family. Thank you, Doc. Appreciate you. And you forgot Space Force. Just saying. I'm just saying. What they got the rockets. Appreciate you, Doc. Jared, popping smoke. Look at all the smoke. Not for horchata. Really? Jared, no guarantees, brother. Integrity, no guarantees. I appreciate you, Jared. Amazing. George Jansen. That's cool. I have no idea what color that is. The emoji's cool. That is not blue. Arlie Ermy. Jesus owns your soul, but the core, your butt belongs to the core. Amen. Arlie Ermy, rest in peace. The gunny. Boom, shalaka laka. You guys are amazing. Orange smoke. Amen, producer. Please explain the guide on retirement. How do they time the music just right? George Jensen, I think you've asked that before. Somebody else did. Exchange guide on. Great question, by the way. If you know, you know. If you don't, at boot camp graduation, the guide on symbolizes your platoon. The color of it depends on what battalion you're in. On MCRD San Diego, I'm sure Paris Island does the same way. Red is 1st Battalion, red with gold letters. 2nd Battalion's yellow with red letters. 3rd Battalion in MCRD, I think they're still like that, blue with white letters. Those are colors of your battalion. 1st Battalion's red, 2nd Battalion's yellow, 3rd Battalion is blue. Since there's females on San Diego now, I didn't even notice. I haven't looked at guidons in a while. So that guidon is everything. You know it. Marines, I'm preaching to the choir. You know what that means. That guidon is everything. When the senior's pissed, he makes you roll it up. Right? Because that's a shame. Shame to walk around with your guidon, what they call it, furled, unfurled, furled, right? Put the boot. That guy would take his boot bands off because you're gonna get unbloused also. So you're walking around like first phase recruits. Guy would take his boot bands off, roll up the flag, pin it closed. It's what? Oh, I'm getting to what the guidon means, how they time it. So the end of boot camp, you're the guide who's carried that for 3 months, maybe less if you the old guy got fired, but that's everything. He's giving it back to the drill instructor, and that in boot camp, the drill instructor you're giving it to is the heavy or the J. Senior's doing senior things. He's releasing the company. So the junior drill instructor, primarily the one who's doing all the work, the guide gives it to the J or the heavy drill instructor, and it's an intense moment. I built that whole story up. She's like, quit rambling, get to the question, because that means a lot. You all know, right? I mean, as a drill instructor, I used to, as soon as a senior would leave, as a drill instructor, I'd make them jump on it, spit on it, step on it, throw dirt on it, just so they fell in love with it that much more. Like you don't lose that guidon, you don't give it to anybody, you don't let nobody take it. I got another story about how I, as a drill instructor, anyway. So the retirement of the guidon is huge. George, I'm getting to it. Trust me. How do they time the music right every time? Quick, easy answer is rehearsal. Rehearsal. Practice it. I rehearsed it so much as a guide and as a drill instructor. I could do it right now with the music. So it's all the heavy beat of the drum, X, and there's commands that your average Joe doesn't hear while they're doing it, but it's all commands. Audio commands by one of the drill instructors calls it. Don't. On that first one, it's X. Boom, you grab. Change. Boom, another hand. Got him. Swoom. And thrust. Boom. So it's rehearsal, just like anything else. Just like drill is. All by audible commands, voice commands. And they practice it over and over and over. And since it is 6 flags moving, because if you see him, he hands it to a drill instructor takes it, flip it, boom, boom. It's awesome. It's good. Thanks for asking that question. That's yeah. So you retire. Those are unit flags. Producer talking about when you retire a unit, right? It happens the same way. That's the organizational colors. That's the big flag. The sergeant major marches it out. That's the guidon. Yeah. So the retirement ceremony of colors is, yes, you lower and you case the colors, essentially. That's a non-precision movement, but it's still ceremonial, right? They lower the flag, they fold it up, right, and they case it in front of everybody. See who? Ray. No. How far down? Boom, boom, boom. George, appreciate you, brother. I don't see Ray's. Am I not caught up? Oh, I never changed it to live. I don't see Ray's. It's at the bottom. Thanks, Doc. I don't see it on my end, but might be because the host. Very cool. Oh, Ray from Queens. I just seen a video on YouTube, and it was all staff sergeants taking the guides at Parris Island. So those, and I wasn't a drill instructor at Parris Island, but I'm pretty sure they probably do it the same. It just so happened to be all staff sergeants, and maybe that company in that platoon or that company at that time, all their J's, all their heavy drill instructors might have been staff sergeants, but it usually is sergeant or staff sergeant. But that's cool. I think that would look cool if they're all the same exact rank. Happens to be who the guy who the heavy is at that time. WW is out of here. WW, Hua and URAH. Thanks for being here, brother. See you Wednesday, maybe in the gear this time. I'm hoping. Fingers crossed. You will know. You'll be the first to know. WW, thanks for hanging out, brother. Have a good night. We'll see you Wednesday. James Johnson, south side of Chicago. Good evening, Sergeant Major. How's things over there in south side of Chicago? James, have you seen Leroy Brown? He's bad. Bad. Leroy Brown. Is that where he's from? South side of Chicago? James, how you doing, brother? We had a corporal come in as a DI for third phase. Jared, that's how old you are. And they used to be able to. Used to. Here's the rule now, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but even when I was a corporal trying to go to DI school, you can go to DI school as a corporal with mathematically, by the time you graduated DI school, you will have the cutting score for sergeant. Because we had a corporal in our DI school class. He got, because you get 100 points towards your cutting score when you go to DI school. I'm sure recruiter school is the same. 100 points for graduating. So that 100 points, you're a senior corporal, right? You have some time, a great time of service. That 100 points will put you over the edge. You get promoted. So I've never seen a drill instructor on the streets because I think they want to promote you before you go over. But that's cool. We didn't have them. We had the youngest sergeant on the West Coast. That's pretty cool. Senior was a staff sergeant, and we rarely saw him. So your senior probably had done a couple cycles. My time as a senior, I was there more because I was just worried. I had some heavy hitting drill instructors, so I had to kind of watch. Pretty good. Leroy Brown is the baddest cat in the whole damn town. That was from the producer. I don't want to steal that from her, but she said, "How's Leroy Brown?" Great song, by the way. Yeah, how was the corporal, Jared? Was he good? It was said that Marines during Vietnam, South Side, hit the ground running. All right. Awesome. Producer, she thinks she's funny. Jared will be the judge of that. All right, man, I got off topic. Promotions to reenlistment. She's being funny again. What? Me getting off topic? His name was Corporal Crawford, short, dark green. He was decent, but a tad timid. He was not as aggressive as our other DIs. And I tell you, even as a new hat, I was in a unique situation because me and another drill instructor, my DI school was the biggest in history, 138 or something like that. Biggest in history at the time. It's been a while. So right off the bat, 12 of us go to Bravo Company. One company, 12 drill instructors in one company. That's 6 platoons. And 10 out of the 12 were sergeants. So it was cutthroat because everyone wants to be a senior drill instructor. So already we're all fighting for each other. So it was 12 alpha males. So you didn't eat, and I take it back. One of our staff sergeants was kind of weak, and one or two anyhow. So say there's 8 alphas, sergeants trying to get one black belt, one senior drill instructor spot because my company at the time said no sergeants will be seniors, but then they open it up to one. They'll have one sergeant senior drill instructor. So then you got 8 guys fighting for one. So you didn't have time to be timid, right? I jumped in feet first. Man, I had to prove that I can get that black belt. but it's intimidating at first. It's very, very intimidating. You would never guess it. I'm giving secrets out. The drill instructors are a little nervous too. Not all, but some. A little nervous. And I just, maybe I was able to mask it well, but I was worried. Like when I'm chewing this guy out who's twice my size, is he going to listen to me? Right? Yeah, I got the cover and I got the belt, so he's supposed to. But will he? And it's all about your confidence in bearing. I sold it from day one. I sold it that I know what I'm doing. And JTB, is he still? That was my first cycle. JTB, he'll ask you how I was with my first cycle. You're still observing. You're still learning. So my unique situation was that our J 4-hat team, senior, the J, and me and Bob the new hat, two of us. Our J got fired. It was on pickup Friday. We were destroying the house on pickup, flipped a rack, landed on a kid's ankle broke, I'm guessing. I mean, he was just gone, right? He took the kid to sick bay. Great dude, just never saw him again, the drill instructor. So now it's a senior, two new hats. We didn't know what was going on. They gave us a J from somewhere else, and he didn't really want to. It was chaos for me and this new hat. So we had to figure it out quick, and because one of us is getting a black belt a year later, but the other one wasn't. So who's it gonna be? How bad do you want it? So I can understand how this corporal could be a little timid at first. I'm sure I was too. 15 minutes LZ, Carl. Thank you. Jared, I'm in fact the judge, jury, and the executioner of comedy. Hail. Oh, she said, as in you kill comedy? Jared, you got to be on your game if you're going to battle the producer. Jason, actually, that sounds pretty good. JSS, Jason Stillwell. How does an escargot pizza with extra Limburger cheese? I don't know what Limburger cheese is, but that sounds delicious. If you haven't had poke pizza, you ain't living. That's sashimi on a pizza, but poke is different. If you know, you know. Poke pizza, bomb, big chunks of fresh fish. So I would try that escargot pizza. That sounds pretty good. Our new DI, Sergeant Ford, spelled different, was a quarterdeck body slayer. He used to say, I'm doing a drive-by and slaying bodies. Good old days. That's awesome. I had a buddy on the drill field, warrant officer, ended up being an LDO, lieutenant colonel, actually, Coxon. Came down there as a staff sergeant, came after me. So he got a belt before me, I believe, because he was a staff sergeant, I was a sergeant. But as green belts, the little guy, he was intense. We served on the same platoon, I think, one time. But even the next cycle, we weren't on the same team. We'd still gang up on people. And him, when we got on our furies of slaying bodies, I'm telling you, we would destroy. We would go in other houses, other battalions, other stuff we shouldn't have been doing, but we'd go in and just kick over a podium like two little Tasmanian devils and leave. And dust be, I mean, we would look back and like, oh my God, we just destroyed them guys. Oh yeah. I mean, all legit according to the drill instructor manual, of course. Mark Hankins, his junior DI was a corporal, definitely the most aggressive out of the 4 DIs. Later became a captain. Some just got it in him. Back at lunch if you want to battle my comedy, because it's going to be a long day. Calling you out. Sea cucumbers on pizza. Nah, it doesn't sound as good anymore, but I would try it. Pizza is one of the foods, man. Some are a lot better than others, but we had pizza the other night. These guys were all complaining. However, there was a time from California Pizza Kitchen, which was new at the time, I think, and we were trying. They got all kinds of different configurations. Somebody I went with got a cheeseless pizza. Cheeseless. No cheese. Should have been against the law. Our waiter should have said, I'm sorry, we can't do that. It was on the menu. Cheeseless pizza. Maybe for some dairy people. Terrible. My wife will eat anything that won't eat her first. Johnny Cash. Right? Facts. Jared, you still don't tell me what you mean by quarter pounder if it's not a huge cheeseburger. A Royale with cheese. I thought I saw a Pulp Fiction reference in there earlier. It's not a quarter pounder. Amsterdam. They call it a quarter pounder with cheese. A Royale with cheese. Had tuna on pizza in Paris, France. Mike, sounds good. I love some tuna. I'm telling you, the poke pizza, a little hard to eat, but it's delicious. Sea cucumbers and sashimi, a.k.a. sashimi. Sea cucumber is a little different, though, than some good old redfish, tuna. We had some cobras around the depot when I was there. They were 8-point covered. They wore 8-point covered. What? Oh, no. There's no such thing as a cheeseless pizza. Jared, tell the producer that. At the very end of third phase. All right, last one. Almost hitting the LZ. Enlisted to officer. Here's what you cannot go anymore. What? Yes, where were you? Yes. Yes, she asked me. Believe that, Jared? She just asked me, did I go over retirements, promotions, reenlistments, and awards? Did she just ask that? She may as well have been the one that ordered a cheeseless pizza. Unheard of. You just don't do things like that. Ray from Queens says Manhattan pizza in Oceanside. You know what was good? Where was this, in Hawaii? New York pizza? I think it was called New York, maybe New York style pizza. I think it was in Hawaii. I'm sure there's many of them. So this was in Hawaii. Huge for one, thin crust. And it depends on how I'm feeling, whether I like thin crust or thick crust. But this was legit New York. Everyone around said, yep, they're from New York, moved out to Hawaii, opened this place up, and it was delicious. The best pizza by far that I've ever had, besides my dad, he would make it from scratch. He would like whip up a pizza out of nowhere. Like, where did those ingredients come from? He'd make everything from scratch, dough, everything. Always good. Blondie's Pizza in Berkeley. Yes, back when I was in high school, we used to drive there just for the pizza and the partying. But Blondie's Pizza, always a line. One of those places. Wonder if it's still there. All right. Do you have battered Mars bars? Do we have battered Mars bars? Carrie Ann Marie Potts is asking. Pizza with anchovies. So, Randy, as much as I would at any time, I would never turn it down. You had pizza today with anchovies? I've never had it. Never had anchovies on a pizza. I absolutely would, though. Jared says, ordering Jesus pizza, have you no respect for yourself? Few regrets in life, she says, and that just may be one of them. No respect for yourself. You can out of your mind. All right, last topic. Got 5 minutes. Enlisted to officer. You used to be able to back in the day go from officer to enlisted if you so chose. I knew one guy, Gunny Otto, was a lieutenant, gave up his commission, joined the enlisted ranks. I don't remember what he started as, but when we got him, he was a gunny. Gunny Otto, good dude. This wasn't for him. The officer community was not for him. There's much more to the story, I'm sure. He didn't share that with us, but he was a pretty good gunny. He was a good company gunny. At the time, I was a young Marine, so I didn't know much, but we liked him. He was good. Can't do that anymore. You cannot go from officer to enlisted unless you change branches of service. That's what that one Army guy did, right? He was an Army captain, enlisted in the Marine Corps. So everything's waivable. But traditionally, you can go from enlisted to officer many different ways. The most common is the warrant officer program, right? WW's not here. He's one of our warrant officers. You can all the way up to Chief Warrant Officer 5. college. I think I read. Do you have to be a sergeant, corporal, or sergeant? You can apply for the warrant officer program. You either have your degree or you're going to get your degree while you do that. You get selected for it. You go to TBS, the basic school, as a sergeant. Then you pin on warrant officer. Warrant officer 1. That's a warrant from the Commandant of the Marine Corps. Once you make it to Chief Warrant Officer 2, now it's a commission. You're a commissioned officer, but you're still in the warrant officer category. So a little different. You're not enlisted anymore. You're not a Chief Warrant Officer. They're in their own category. That's why we talk a lot about what do warrant officers do? Where are they? They're the unicorns of probably all branches of service. In select MOSs, not every MOS has warrant officers. The engineer, combat engineers do not have warrant officers. Their MOS changes to drafting and surveying. So not every MOS has warrant officers. The ones that do, their job seems very similar to the master sergeant and the master gunnery sergeant because they are the duty expert, the technical expert of that field. What a reason why I didn't ever want to go that route is because I didn't want to stay in one field. That's just it. That was just me. But some do. You're Motor T, you're that good, you love it, stay in Motor T, you want to be there, either go the master sergeant, master gunnery sergeant route, or you get your warrant, become a warrant officer, you're the technical expert. Warrant officers know everything about that MOS. They're amazing, pretty amazing rank, a cool rank, I think, because you're not enlisted, you're not officer, but you're kind of enlisted and you're kind of officer. You make that decision, right? Your chain of command is a little different. I even had a Chief Warrant Officer 3 as a company commander. My first duty station as a first sergeant, my CO was a Chief Warrant Officer 3. Pretty amazing. I didn't know they could hold command billets like that. So that changed my mind about the warrant officer community. They typically don't, but they do. They can be platoon commanders, clearly company commanders. I had one, but they're primarily mixed in the operations office area, right? They're the behind the scenes guy or girl, and they are that technical expert. And they're great. That's a way to become an officer as enlisted. Enlisted, go warrant officer package, and then beyond that, you can go the LDO route, limited duty officers. What my drill instructor buddy did, retired to lieutenant colonel. Great family friend of ours, did the same thing. We knew him on the soccer field, family friends. Grew up together in the Marine Corps in Okinawa. He went LDO 05, Lieutenant Colonel. I think that's the limit for LDOs. Anyone know? I don't think you can go beyond Lieutenant Colonel as an LDO, limited duty officer. Like Ray from Queens, the old saying, I'd rather be an outstanding sergeant than any officer rank. And nothing but love for the officer community. Annie Benani, our very own Annie Benani, is going to be a Marine officer. So no hate for the officer corps. It's just a different lifestyle that I just never wanted to do. USMC CECE enlisted, right? So I'm excited to have both in the family. All right. Helicopter pilots in the Army, Chief Warrant Officers. Pretty awesome. Marines don't have that program yet. They've been tossing around for probably decades. We don't have that yet. I think that's very cool about the Army, that pilots can be warrant officers. And then somebody tell me in the Navy or the Coast Guard, Chief Warrant Officers can be the captain of a ship or a boat. Don't quote me on that. Oh, no, Jared. No, you didn't. And for none questioning, yes, pineapple belongs on pizza. I'm with you. There's people that say pineapple doesn't belong on pizza. To hell with them. Just kidding. It's pretty strong. Love me some pepperoni and pineapple. 1,000%. And some jalapeno. We might have to get pizza tonight. We might have to do it. Oh, it's the end of the month. This the time. June. I'm gonna end it with this. We're going on a June kick. You're gonna be a part of this. We're going on a June kick. Healthy. They were attacking the channel. We're doing all these things. We're gonna start this mid-year. I still hold, God is my witness, my 365 days of physical fitness. I'm still on it. 6 months in from my New Year's resolution. I haven't swayed from it. So you can. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, hit that like button, please. Hit the like button. Consider becoming a member. I didn't talk enough about our member Zoom. Maybe I did. Absolutely loved it. Thank you guys for participating, and there definitely will be more. That was a whole lot of fun. Jared said, I won't be letting my kids join the code. There's only one. There's only room for one bad you-know-what in the household. It was a great program tonight. Great subject. Great people. Semper Fi. Carl, appreciate you, brother. Sorry for the curse words, Jared. You need to be, we got you. We got you covered. God bless all of you. I did go over it a little bit. Apologies, but I can't wait for Wednesday. Members Live Wednesday, normal Wednesday, June. Let's get after it. We don't know what we're naming it. What was the one I liked? Prove It. We're going to call it the Prove It Challenge. You're the first to hear. Oh, she just put it out. 30-day Prove It Challenge. Starts Monday, starts tomorrow. Prove it. You want to get in shape? Prove it. Right? You want to get better? Prove it. You want to get smarter? Prove it. You want to get your degree? Prove it. Stop talking about it. Prove it. Recruits used to tell me all the time, Jared TC could have, so I'm going to do more pull-ups than you. Prove it. Don't tell me. Show me. Show me State, Missouri. Get after it. Semper Fi, my friends. We'll see y'all Wednesday. Have a great week. All right.